The first thing any young record label needs to do is find great artists. Sounds easy, really hard. There's a lot of really good artists. There's a lot of people that can sing, play their instruments, write a song or two. Matter of fact, there's probably like 10 million of those. The key is, can you find somebody special? It's not that easy. You can always sign lots of things, but to find somebody special is not that easy. And to find them, they're not going to be fully formed. That's part of your job at the label, or particularly an indie label, is to develop them. So can you spot the diamond in the rough? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what do you do with them? You find this great artist, how do you build an audience? How do you build that momentum? How do you get the material in the right place? How do you get them out there? And then the final thing that nobody likes to pay attention to is the finances. If you can't make money, if you don't have cash flow, you're out of business. And that goes with any business. And it's particularly hard when you're starting with nothing, as in an unformed artist, to try and build something. So you really have to watch your pennies. Know what to spend money on, because it gives a return, and what not to waste money on. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever discovers fully finished. You know, it's always easy once it's on the radio to say you love them, but would you have loved them based on that original demo? Would you have loved them when you saw them at that gig when nothing went right? You know, that's the real talent. And you know, when you look back at some of the great A&R people, I was gonna say A&R men because mostly they were men. It's not so anymore, but when you look at the great A&R people, that ability to find them. I know Seymour Stein, who's one of the legends in the industry, he's still out every night of the week, you know, Tuesday night in some shithole city somewhere in the world, down into some disgusting basement venue with beer on the floor and sticky and 3 people in the audience, but he finds them. He goes in, he searches, and he finds those amazing artists and takes them all the way to the top. How do you put it? You can't just go from obscurity to superstardom. That never happens. There's those steps. The key is, where along the chain do you along that journey do you find it, the artist? And so, yeah, the managers usually find them first, and indie labels go along with that. By the time you bring it to a major, usually it's somewhat formed. It would be rare that it's completely raw.